Hello and welcome to EGW Writings Tech Tips. I'm your host, Daryl Thompson. Thank you for joining us today in another of our series on learning how to use the new EGW Writings 2 app for Android. Now today what I'm going to be talking about is the Study Center within the app. The Study Center is one of the most useful parts of the EGW Writings 2 app. Let's say, for example, that you're preparing for a lesson study. And the lesson study is on the book of Genesis. So you can create in your Study Center a topical folder called Genesis, and then you can go through and you can look up all the different references and things that the lesson for the week is dealing with. And you can put that in as element by element within your Study Center. Now, you can save within the Study Center 3 different parts. You can do notes, highlights, and bookmarks. And you can do a combination of all 3. In notes, you can actually put a little tiny mark within a paragraph or beside a word, and you can write up to 100 words or 120 words within that note and save it. You can also create a highlight, and you can create markings, colored markings across the text and highlight it, and you can put that into topical collections as well. And then you have bookmarks, and bookmarks can, just like they are, it will mark the location of a paragraph or a word or a book. And then you use the Study Center to come back and navigate and move and order and sort and edit and delete and all those things that you want to do within the Study Center. And that Study Center, if you are signed in, can be synced and backed up to EGW Cloud, which then you can access it from egwwritings.org. You can access it from your Windows computer. You can access it even if you had a MacBook and you had the Mac app installed. Our EGW Cloud will sync across the whole family of the EGW Writings apps. So that is the beauty of your Study Center. You can actually go through and create notes, bookmarks, and highlights on particular topics throughout all of her writings. Now, to show you how to do that, let's dive right in. So in the reader here, as I'm reading through the chapter, you'll notice that you'll see lots of Bible links. And if I like to click on a Bible link, what I will do in the reader, it will open up to a split screen mode. So you can see here that on the bottom half of the screen, I have Hebrews 1:3, and you can see at the end of the paragraph, or the verse, it is listing the KJV Bible, the book of Hebrews, chapter 1, verse 3. Now, at the bottom here, you can see a couple of these sort of maximize screens. If I want to see the full context of this in the Bible, I can scroll up and down. I can just tap on the bottom right-hand corner here, and I can maximize the Bible view. If I want to go back, I can just tap the icon in the bottom right-hand corner again, and it will go back. I can do the same in the EGW. And if I want to close that window, I just need to backtrack out, and it brings me back full screen, just back into EGW. That's the same thing will happen on any Bible text. So there we are. We open up Colossians 1:16. I can backtrack out, and here I am back again at Colossians 1:16. And you will notice that when I tap on that, it'll pull up in the toolbar at the top what is my default. And notice if I tap in each screen, how it changes from chapter 1 from Patriarchs and Prophets, Why Was Sin Permitted, down here to Colossians. Okay, so that can tell you which is your primary screen that you've got selected. So let's just backtrack back to the full screen again. Now, what we have as we scroll through each of the paragraphs, you can see at the end of every paragraph this lighter PP 34.1. What that is that is your reference code. Every book has a book code. PP is the book code to Patriarchs and Prophets. 34 is the page. The .1 is the paragraph. So as I scroll through to the second paragraph, you will notice that it is PP 34.2. If I keep scrolling, PP 34.3 at the end of the paragraph, and now we've switched over to paragraph 1 of page 35. And you can see that right there after the text Ezekiel 28 verses 12 to 15. So that is helping you as you go through the book, knowing where you are, the location within the book that you're currently reading. Now there's several tools that you can do and processes that you can do within this app. Many of you like to highlight, bookmark, and add notes in the reader. And you can do that if you are logged in. Over in the top right-hand corner, you can see what we'll call the little sandwich icon. It's a horizontal row of 3 little icons in the top right-hand corner of my screen there. And if I click on that, that is my side menu. And it opens up the side menu here, and you can see that I'm logged in. Okay, I'm not going to log out here and sign in. We'll do that in a separate app later on. But this is where you'll go into the main screen of the side menu and where you can sign in to EGW Cloud. If you want to change many of the settings, you'll find them in settings. In main language, you can change your language from English to another language. For like the My Library, but the actual language of the app is set by your device. So just remember that. Then you've got your Study Center, Search, Download Manager, User Manual, and Subscriptions, and then your reading history. That is all what's in the side menu. Now, a very quick shortcut if you want to go back and close this, you can hit the back arrow, or you can just swipe from left to right. And if you want to come in, you can tap the sandwich menu, or you can just swipe in from the edge of the screen and do an edge screen swipe. So just if you want to go back into the main reader, you can just tap on the edge or swipe back and it will take you back to the reader. Now once I'm logged in, as it's handy then, I can go and say I want to highlight a statement. So I'm reading through here and I can see, so long as all created beings are acknowledged the allegiance of love, there was a perfect harmony throughout the universe of God. Now maybe I want to select this. So what I do is I place my finger on the word so for about a second and a half, and then I just drag my finger across the screen. Now once I've dragged my finger across the screen, you can see that it highlights the text. I can adjust the text selection by just popping this selection tooltip there, back, and you can see now I've selected just that paragraph. Now sometimes people say, if I'm selecting down here to text down into this area, you say, oh, the little tool pop-up box has got in the way. You can put your finger out to the side and you can drag the screen up to take it out of the way of the text selection area. You see how I dragged it up, and I can move it out of the way. Now once I've got the text selected, you'll notice that a series of tools comes up in the toolbox. The first one here is to add a note. So if I tap on the first icon, you can see in here that I can add a note. Now it's going to list where this note is going to be added. I do not want to add it in the last location that I had it in, so I'm going to tap here. I'm going to tap up on the Study Center. I'm going to add a new folder called PP for Patriarchs and Prophets. I'm going to click OK. So now I've got a new folder. And once it's in the folder there, I want to save it there. I'll click the little tiny check mark. Now I'm saving it in the PP folder. And I like to create all of my notes and bookmarks and highlights into topical folders rather than just adding it into the root. The reason is being able to manage and organize all your Study Center into logical topics. Because if you have thousands of things just listed all in one big long list, not only does it slow the app down, if you get past about 100 elements within each folder, it also makes it very difficult to navigate your Study Center. So try to create folders like I did. Now this one here, I'm just going to create a test note. So I'll just add the word here, test note, and I'll just hit the little check mark, and you'll notice here that I have placed a little tiny note right there at the end of that selection that I placed. Now, if I want to select this text again to highlight it and add a highlight, I could click here, and then the next one looks like a pen over a little yellow object. Now when I come into here, I can select the default colors, and the default colors red, green, blue, cyan, magenta, yellow, purple, orange, pink, and underline. After that, these are colors and topics that I've added. So you can not only add colors, you can actually give the color a name or a topic name. The default here you cannot change. They are locked and they stay. But anything after the underline, you can come in and add custom colors that you would like to create. Now I'm just going to use the default yellow currently here, at present for this one, and then I'll hit the little check mark and I've saved. And the good thing is when you come through the next time, say I want to select here, this sentence here, and add it back into the same folder with the same color, you can see the history up the top shows here. So I can just tap the little yellow circle and it will place it in this highlight into the same Patriarchs and Prophets folder that I created. So as I quickly jump through and say I want to mark up this statement here, all I need to do is tap the Y and it's going to be in my study center. And we can verify that by going over to the side menu, tapping on Study Center, opening up Patriarchs and Prophets, and here is my note and my 3 new highlights that I've added. So utilizing the little history one at the top is a very quick way if you're saying creating highlights within a book or a particular topic, just tapping on the little history one there. You can add new ones, that's not a problem. So if I come in here and I select this area of the text, let's go out to the edge, and then click on the highlight again, I can actually go in and add a highlight color and create that highlight color wherever I want, and I can give it a name. I could give it the name PP if I so desired. Now I've got the color PP, and then I click OK, and now I have the color PP for going through the book. So I can create custom colors with custom names if I so desire. And if I come back and create the next section of color, you can see my P is created up there, and I can just tap on that, and now it's adding. So you can go through. You can even add a color over a color if you so desire. So I can come into here, and I can click on here and select a color and click OK, and you can see how I can highlight and select and add notes and multiple elements right over the top of each other. It's up to you how complicated and messed up you want it to be, because if you do add too many highlights, it's going to get a little bit much to understand what you've done. But you can do that, and you can add multiple highlights across multiple folders. Now the last element, of course, is a bookmark. So if I'm reading through in here and I click on the first and say I've finished reading that, I just want to add a bookmark, I can just tap bookmark. I'm in PP, and I can't remember what page I'm on, but let's just say I should have checked page 40. I was at 37. Okay. So, but if I want to edit that, I can tap on the bookmark element and I can actually edit it. So see, I tapped back on, so it was a good demonstration, and then tap there. Now, if I don't want to keep that, say I've come back to the next day and this is where I was up to and I want to remove that element, just tap on your element. See the little trash can in the bottom right-hand corner? If I tap on that, that's how I delete the element. It's the same thing if I'm up in the highlighted section, say I want to delete that. I want to choose the second one I created, the pink one here, and I click on the trash can, and there it is, it's gone. So that's how you delete the element. You can also come over into your study center and delete the element the same way. Just do a long click on the element to open it, or if you want to delete it, go into your study center, select it, tap delete, and it's gone. If you're in your study center this way, you can just swipe from right to left. You can edit this, move it, or click delete. And then you select yes, I want to delete it. If I want to move this element into another area, let me just come back into the study center. I can swipe there. I can go move. I can choose the folder that I want it to go into. I can click OK. That element has now been moved. Go back up into EGW, and there it is there. And if I want to move it back, I can just swipe on it, click on move, go back to PP, drop it in PP, click on the little check mark, and now if I go back to PP, my element is here. But you say, well, this element was at the top of the list before. No problem. If you put your finger on this element here, nothing will happen. Just put your finger over on the icon and then drag the icon up to the top and place it, and it's back into that order. Or you can come down and you can put it down into the middle if you so desire. So you can pick it up here. Let's pick it up. There we go. And drop it into the middle. So you can pick it up and locate it where you want. And it's telling you in this little pop-up here as I move, as it's syncing out to the cloud, it's telling you what got updated in your study center, that little tiny notification. Okay, so there's another thing that I want to show because I have a note and then some highlights. I want to put a bookmark back in here just to show you another little feature in the study center. Let's put a bookmark and we're in PP. Okay. Now when I come back into the study center over here, if I just want to see my highlights, then all you need to do is just tap highlights up there and you can see the other elements are hidden. If you want to tap and just see the note, there's my note. You want to tap the bookmark, there's my bookmark. If you want to see all three elements, you tap all. And if you want to sort your collections, so if I just wanted to be, say I had multiple books within that center, if I actually come here and click on the Acts of the Apostles, it's actually going to show me nothing because it's filtering within there. I'd actually have to come down and find Patriarchs and Prophets. So if I scroll down here and you see Patriarchs and Prophets and I click on that, it comes back. But I could go through and filter out if I had multiple books from multiple elements, say I had 30 or 40 elements within this Patriarchs and Prophets folder, I could, and I may just have, things from the conflict series, maybe from Great Controversy or Desire of Ages or things in this folder, then I could come through and filter them out. If I wanted to see everything, then you just need to come back and click all and everything shows. So that's the little basis of the study center. You've got the filters at the top. You've got the types of elements you want to show. You've got your navigation up and down elements here. Remember, if you want to move them in the order, you just click on the icon, drag it up. If you want to delete, you swipe left and you can edit, move, or delete the element. So if I want to delete it, I can just tap delete. If you're sure you want to delete, you click delete. If not, you can hit cancel and it'll be back. And if you want to open the element, you just tap it and it opens back. If you just want to open the next element, you open back. Now, something that's very useful is down the bottom right-hand corner, you say, well, I don't want to have to keep going back to my study center to navigate. That's not a problem. You don't have to. In the bottom right-hand corner here, you've got your study center navigation. And you can go forward to the next element, and you can step through. And you can come back to the previous element and navigate through all your study center list here by within the reader and go through. So if you create a Bible study, let's say, for example, or a Spirit of Prophecy study, you can start at element number 1. And when you start at element number 1, you can just step through and go through the study. So we've created all those features within the reader and within the study center. Now you may ask, what are some of the other things that I can do in here? Because I'm sure that you saw. If I just long click on a word, you can see what it comes up here. And I can click on the little magnifying glass. So if I click on the magnifying glass, it's actually going to search for, and I go back to EGW Collections, and it'll give me results from all the books. And we're going to do search next. I just wanted to show you that when you select a word and you do a search, it'll search for that word. Now, if I do multiple words, like a phrase, so maybe I go, all has taken place as predicted. Let's see how many times all has taken place when I search for that. Okay, and I'll go and search in EGW Collections, and you can see there is 4 times that phrase is used in her writing. So that's a nice little quick tool that you have within the reader. All you need to do is select that word. Now there was a couple other things that were there. So let me just come down into a section. All right, so let me pick up a little highlighted section here. Okay, you can also start to play from here, and you can also share. Now I'm going to do the share here first. That's in the middle row, the little arrow that points to the right. And if I tap on that, maybe I want to share this, say, out to my Twitter account. I can click on share selection, or I can, if I want to share it out to a Word app or something, I could go say share chapter, or I can actually select a range of paragraphs. So there's my option. I'm just actually going to click on share selection. I'm going to choose Twitter, and it pops out, and then I can post here directly on my Twitter feed this quote. Okay. So there it is right there. And if I hit tweet, away it would go and it would share that tweet. Now I'm not going to post that. I'll hit delete. Okay, so I could share out to Facebook, Twitter, but if I want to share something else out, all right, so I'll just highlight this section here and I click on share. When I go share selection, I can click on other, and then it brings up like all the other sections. So maybe I want to share it as a text message. I can click on that. I can select the messages here and click. Okay, so that's all the basics within the tool. One thing that you can do, of course, is that you can play directly from a section. So you can click here, for example, and I can hit play.
But the people of Israel lost sight of their high privileges as God's representatives.
Now you notice that when I do hit play, it pops up here, and it pops the little reader. That little color will slowly move all the way around in white as it goes through and plays this chapter. If I click pause, it stops. If I do a long click on this, it brings you back to the whole media player. Okay, and see there I can go and I can play pause. So just so you know, a long click brings you back to that point. And if I want to close that out, I just hit X and the little pop over will hide out of here. You can also play directly. Also, if I get back and I click the AA, as I said before, you can tap on listen here and it will also play out from there as well.
Chapter 1.
Okay, let me hit pause so it's not playing in the background. So we've basically gone through and I've shown you how you do everything except basically copy. And that's the same as share essentially. You can just select your text. Once you've got your text selected, you can hit copy, and that now you're able to go and paste that text anywhere, like into a message or Facebook or anywhere where you want. It will automatically copy the reference code for you as well. Now, a lot of people say, hey, but you know, that's very easy if I do a long click here and I can select the text, or I can drag my finger across the screen to select the text. But what if I want to select multiple paragraphs? That's a real pain to have to come up here and then go drag down. Well, never fear, we've already built that feature in for you for text selection. If for text selection I want to select multiple paragraphs, just do a long click on the first word. Then don't tap the screen, just drag the screen down to the end of the last paragraph that you want to select, do another long click, and all the paragraph text in between is selected. You just then click copy and it says text copied to the clipboard. And I can go and post it into a message, you know, if I want to. So just hide this one basically, hit paste, and you can see here when it shows up here, you can see that it gives you the reference, the range of the reference. So it went from Acts of the Apostles, page 14, paragraph 2, through to Acts of the Apostles, page 16, paragraph 1. And there's my whole range of text that was selected there. Okay, so here we are. We've shown you how to copy text, not just doing the long click and drag. You can double click to bring up a single word. You've got the selections, or you can do a long click and everything in between will be selected. And if you say, well, that wasn't the exact selection that I want, I actually want to come up to there, you can long click again and it will just keep adding until you have found the selection that you want to add to. So I've now shown you all the features in selection of the text. A quick way to go back to the home is I tap the little side menu, tap the home screen, and I'm back to the home menu. As you can see, the Study Center tutorial that I just went through, it has many different components that is going to take time to learn how to use properly. So don't be discouraged if the first time you have difficulty using it. Just persevere. The hardest part to do is really learning how to select the text. And in the tutorial, I showed you the different methods on how to do text selection. And then I showed you how to create folders, and I showed you how to delete and move them, and all those different things. You'll probably need to watch the tutorial over 2 or 3 times and practice it over the coming weeks. Come back to the tutorial and watch it again. But once you perfect the use of using the Study Center, it is something that you'll always wish that you had used all the time. I hope that the EGW Writings becomes one of your best friends that you use daily in your walk with God. It can help you in your scripture study. It can help you with the reading from the Spirit of Prophecy books from God's messenger that he gave almost 150 years ago to Ellen G. White. Well, thank you for joining us. I'm Darrell Thompson, and as you use the writings of Ellen White, may they bring the same blessings to you daily as they bring to me. Bye for now.